hear you want to deal with toxic people? What if I told you the problem to deal with isn't them, it's you? Which is why in this video, I will help you do exactly that. I will share the mindset shifts and hacks tried and tested by yours truly. In my last video, I already told you about the normalized traits of other toxic people. So before I start, I want to share the toxic traits of a toxic family or your parents. But if you want to get right into the video and the solutions, there's a timestamp down below and you can skip right ahead. Now without further ado, let's get right into it. So here are some traits of a toxic parent. They are overly critical of you. So they are quick to criticize, but they are very slow to appreciate. They always compare you to others. They refuse to acknowledge or appreciate your work, therefore making you crave their validation all the time. They don't express themselves, be it love, anger, hate, any emotion, and they give you this idea that if you want to be respected in this world, you have to be this way and you have to hold your emotions in. Along with that, there is usually no emotional security, which means one moment they're happy and they're loving you, and the next moment they don't want to talk to you and there's so much chaos in your house. Plans and emotions are so inconsistent that you never know what to expect. They try to control your partner, your finances, your career, etc. Or they don't let you make your own decisions because they think that they always know better. They think mental health is a trend that our generation made because we had it too easy. They think abuse is necessary for discipline, be it verbal or physical. They are over possessive of you, they are overprotective of you, and they try to know your whereabouts all the time. They believe that failing or making mistakes is a fault in you as a person, and they always discourage taking risks. They have no self-awareness and don't know how to regulate emotions, so they just project all their emotions all over the place, always ruining the energy of the entire house. They break your boundaries and induce guilt in you when you try to take your stand because they are the parent. They use you to keep themselves protected and safe. They do that by either force or emotional manipulation. So it can look like not letting you leave the house or asking you to choose a career in your hometown and never leave, because someone has to take care of them. They require you to earn their validation through achievements like good grades or constant politeness, making you think that love is something that you have to earn. Now that we've covered all the normalized toxic traits, let's get to the fun stuff of how to deal with it. It's not easy, but awareness and acceptance are always the first two steps that you need to take. It's hard to know that people who are so close to you, people who are supposed to take care of you, are the reason that you're falling apart. And it's even harder to accept that it's never about you. It is not about you. As long as you try to change them, you are actually telling your brain that you have something to do with that, you have some role to play in the way they are, but that's not true. You can't and you aren't supposed to change them. Having said that, it's also important to realize that the outer world is always a reflection of you. Now, this does not mean that you caused them to be this way, but it does mean that if you continue to stay in their reality, you continue to stay in their space, in their timeline, you are getting something from them. Maybe you're emotionally addicted to the pain. And if you've read Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza, you know that sometimes people can hate the pain in their lives and still be emotionally addicted to the pain, recreating it over and over again. So it's a good time to step back and ask yourself, what am I getting out of this? What am I getting that I can't seem to let go of? Are they reaffirming my low self-worth? Are they reaffirming my fear of abandonment? Whatever it is, becoming aware of it and accepting that they are just mirroring your deepest pain points is the first step. Now that you know, let's move on to the next thing that you need to understand. These people don't have to acknowledge the pain that they caused you. You heard me. I know you want them to, but the more you wait for them to accept their errors, the more you're trying to change something outside of you, which is not only frustrating but also very, very fruitless. Trying to get them to understand and own to their mistakes is you telling yourself that you will only fully heal once they allow you to, once they give you closure, once they accept that they're wrong. But the truth is, you are allowed to let go. You want to know how to deal with toxic people? Understand that it's not your problem to deal with. You need to set clear boundaries, and I don't just mean physical boundaries, I also mean energetic boundaries. You need to get the hell out of lives of people, places, situations, career that drain you. because your environment is strongly tied to your emotions and mindset and the way you view the world you manifest, the world you are living in. In fact, recently I was taking this neuroscience webinar, and it was such a mind-boggling thing to realize that your limbic system, which is the emotional center of your brain, which actually plays a role in how your brain reacts to the environment, can give you different memories and different emotional triggers based on your environment, based on where you are. So if you're always around people or places that are reaffirming your lack, your scarcity mindset, your abandonment issues, every time you're around that place in that environment, you are getting this hit over and over again, which can cause the addiction to the emotional pain that I was talking about earlier. Staying around these people and trying to heal is like you trying to quit your addiction to smoking by living with a chain smoker. You're gonna relapse. If for some reason you are unable to physically leave this space, it is more important than ever to create a safe space for yourself to ground and release these emotions. It can look like a workout class, a dance class, or just some quiet time reading or meditating. You might think that you can just shake these emotions off, but you can't do that just mentally. You have to physically shake these emotions off, because as the title of this popular book rightly suggests, your body does keep the score. Along with that, it is necessary for you to have your own safe space to go to. You can call it your happy place. Decorate it, fill it with scents that make you happy, make you feel at peace. Have some nice music over there, or keep a sketch pad where you can just sketch it out, write whatever you want. Whatever it is for you, you need to have a space that is created by you for you, so you know that you deserve this peace and not just the chaos outside. One of the comments that made me make this video in the first place was about dealing with parents that are so focused on what the world thinks that they will never put your needs or what is best for you first. Truth be told, they sound like people pleasers, which means they're not just doing that with you, they're also doing it with themselves. So my advice is you need to start setting an example for them. I have never ever been able to change somebody just by my words. I have changed the way I live my life. I have applied the teachings that I tell others, and because of that, when my life changes, people ask me, my parents ask me how I did that, and that's when I tell them. Because if I tell them before, they don't want to know. But once they see the outcome, they want to know how I did it. After all, the world is a reflection of you. So all you really need to do is change the way you live your life. So I want you to first ask yourself, are you living the way you want them to? Are you putting your needs first? If you aren't, I strongly suggest that you start with yourself. And if you are, then you just need to accept that they have been wired a certain way for years. And you don't have to change this wiring. They don't have to understand your needs for you to give them to yourself. Now, if you're thinking,
what if I want to move out but they won't allow it? What if I want to join the gym but they're the ones that are going to fund it and they just don't allow me?
My point still stands. You're focusing on making them accept your needs, but do you even understand them? Because you don't want to move out, you want the freedom. You want the lifestyle change, maybe you want better opportunities, all of which is a feeling that you can give yourself without taking permission from anybody. Similarly, you don't want to join the gym, you want to get the benefits which you can get by simply a walk or home workouts. Of course, it would be perfect. It would be much nicer if you could just do the thing. But like I always say, life doesn't have to be fair for you to come out a winner. Because once you start giving yourself what you so strongly desire, the world will open up to you, because whatever you focus on expands. So you can just focus on making others understand. You can focus on how nobody really cares for what you need. You can try to change them, or you can stop giving all those excuses and start focusing on yourself. Start giving yourself what you need. If you're always around people, relatives, friends, anybody who mocks you, who criticizes you all the time, and you can't always leave, I want you to try this fun experiment. So I want you to imagine, visualize this field of energy, white energy, all around your body. It's gonna shield you. So all it looks like is a big ball of energy, a white cloud of energy, or like a jelly of energy, and it's all around you. Just visualize it. And anytime somebody says anything that you don't want to hear, the energy just bounces off to them. It just bounces off you. I have no idea how it works, but it does. So try it and let me know down in the comment box below if it worked for you. Moving on to my next point, sometimes the best solution is forgiveness. You don't have to forget, and you definitely don't have to allow anybody who hurt you in the past back into your life. However, the longer you try to fix, the longer you wait for them to accept, the longer you stay angry at them, the longer you're giving them your precious energy, and you are losing your precious energy to them. Forgiveness isn't about letting them off the hook, it is about letting yourself off the hook. Imagine the scenario. Someone has tied your legs to them and now they've jumped off a cliff because they can swim, but you can't. So now you're holding on for dear life at the edge of the cliff, screaming at them. Now it's completely normal to shout at them, but the question is, how long? How long are you gonna stay there and just hurt your arm, screaming at them, waiting for them to accept responsibility for doing something that hurt you? Because the longer you stay there, the only person that's hurting is you. Now you could untie the rope and let them go, but you don't want to do that because once you let them go, you will never get to hear their apology. You will never get to hear why they did what they did. So you stay there with your entire arm hurting so bad simply because they haven't acknowledged the problem yet. This is literally what happens when you hold on to toxic people, waiting for their excuses, waiting for closure, and refuse to forgive them. Forgiving is only you letting them go, untying yourself so you can get up and move on with your life. You don't have to understand their reasons or wait for their excuses to untie yourself. For parents, forgiveness can look like finally understanding that your parents are people too and they're not perfect, they're not supposed to be perfect because it is their first time living through this reality as well. They have grown up with their adopted beliefs just like you have, and they're just human with their own flaws and their own traumas they're dealing with. And it's trying to see their intentions because sometimes, even though their ways have proven to be wrong in the end, in the moment they were trying to do the best for you in ways they knew how. It's knowing that whatever opinions they give you, it is just that. It's just an opinion. You don't have to take it. Just like you won't take a stranger's opinion every single time. You take what works for you and you leave out the rest. It is understanding that a parent who grew up criticized might continue the pain by criticizing you. Somebody who couldn't fulfill their dreams might never believe in yours. It's just a story, it is not the truth. And you can start writing your own story instead of continuing their saga. Yes, a lot of your pain came from the way you were brought up, from the way that you were treated as a child. But you can either sit there and stay a victim to your past, keep blaming all these people, and recreate all those patterns and all those choices and all of that reality again into your future, or you can put a pause to it. You can break the cycle, start choosing your own beliefs, change the way you treat those after you, setting an example for them by the way you treat yourself. Of course, none of that goes if anybody in your life is toxic to the point that they're abusive physically, emotionally, mentally, any way possible. Because somebody who's proven dangerous to your health can never change and you don't have to change them ever. So please just get professional help and get out of there. I have personally used each of these solutions and I promise you that if you do this, you will take your power back. Because it's not about taking your power from them, it is about realizing that your power is always yours. You're just choosing to focus on them, you're choosing to give it to them. But if you stop focusing on them and start bringing all your energy back to you, it never left home, it never left you. Not everyone deserves your forgiveness, absolutely not, but you deserve it. You deserve to let go. You deserve to forgive yourself for the choices you made. You deserve to forgive yourself for the people you allowed to enter your life because you didn't know any better. So allow yourself to let go. Allow yourself to move on. Allow yourself to untie yourself and get off the cliff. In the end, it's all about what you do with the toxicity that they've given you. You can either accept it, absorb it, or you can put it onto others, therefore creating the cycle of trauma. Or you can have a shield strong enough to protect yourself and never let any toxicity enter your reality. You can do that using your imaginary shield, or the shield of forgiveness, the shield of acceptance, or the shield of sympathy. Because once you understand that people are living through their own versions of reality, you will start to feel sorry for them. They have to do all these shitty things to feel powerful. They have to do all these things to feel superior. They have to spread this toxicity because they don't know what to do with it. And it is no longer something that makes me mad. It is something that makes me feel so sorry for them. Of course, I will not allow them into my reality, but now I'm no longer holding a grudge. I'm no longer waiting for closure because I feel bad for them. Why would I be mad at someone who's hurt when I am secure in my life and I am living a life of abundance? They're no longer a part of my reality because it just doesn't match anymore. Only hurt people hurt people. Nobody who's secure will ever try to put you down. So why would I let somebody with a scarce mindset mess with my abundance? So you can choose to keep focusing on why are people toxic? Why did this person do this to me? Why are people this way? Or you can just cut off all the noise. Stop all the grudges, stop waiting for all the closures, and just remember, you can move on at any time. You can move on the second you decide to let go of all these people. You can change your life at any point you decide that they are not the problem to deal with. It is you. What are you getting from them? What are you addicted to? Why can't you leave this place? That is all. Why can't you create boundaries, or why can't you stick to them? Once you start focusing on yourself and not on the outer world, things shift, problems go away. So now the choice is yours. That brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know about more toxic traits of normalized people who are probably in your life, but they're so normalized they don't even realize they're sucking out all the energy from you, you need to watch this video. And now if you want to understand how to stop your people-pleasing tendencies and set boundaries, you need to watch that video next. And I will see you next week with a brand new video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.